Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this week. How many of you were screaming after last week's episode? I know I was. We have tried to resurrect someone, Rodrigo, and we did resurrect someone.
Yeah. We just don't know who.
Yes, that is the big question. Who is inhabiting Barrett's body?
Already some serious assumptions here. Let's try and get as close of a recap as we can.
Okay.
On that. So, what happened last time?
On Critical Hit.
Hit.
So we came back to the bodies, and Orem performed a raise dead ritual on Barrett, our dwarf cleric, and she came back, and it appeared that everything was okay until her eyes turned black, and she started speaking to us about stuff.
Yeah, she did say she might have been in a jar.
Yes, and heard people on the outside of it, and then she wasn't there.
No one paid much attention to that.
Okay, and then what happened?
There was a big piano sting, and we went away for a week.
She woke up with a big pentagram on her forehead.
It wasn't a pentagram. It was a circle with some lines coming out of it.
Oh, for some reason, I thought it was the Asmodeus symbol.
Yeah, see, everybody's so getting ahead of themselves.
Well, I mean, come on.
This is actually Asmodeus. He's here. He's going to kick our butts and turn us all into goats. Just,
turn us into goats.
Just take it easy, babies.
That'd be
One step at a
bad.
time.
All right.
Brian.
Maybe it's just the Raven Queen come to get us. I don't know what her symbol is.
Well, not the Raven Queen.
Not the goddess formerly known as the Raven Queen.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. That's her name now. That symbol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does it look like the weird wheel spoke thing that she has on her back?
Yep.
All right then. Close enough.
Close enough.
So yes,
Uncritical.
when we last left our group, Orem had in fact just immediately performed the ritual on Otto, and the group had a conversation with Barrett. They had then gone into shifts. Which so that people could sleep, which I was going to write them down, but I think I forgot to. And then 1,000 years passed. Yeah, I know that Ked was on shift, but I don't remember who else was supposed to be. Or
Sparkle took one. I think she was on the middle shift.
Yeah,
I believe Sikar had a shift as well. Did he?
All right. So yes, she was hanging out over by Randus. And then when Ket went to talk to her, he saw that her eyes were completely black, and she had that symbol on her forehead, which again is a circle with 5 kind of jaggedy points coming out of it. Like they don't go all the way from the center. So.
Yeah, it was the 5 points that made me think it was a pentagram.
I see.
So is it a perfect? Is it a perfect circle?
It is.
Anything?
It is a perfect circle.
Anything inside the circle?
No. Just so imagine, like like a computer's on button, where it's like a little ring with like 5 little points coming out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, take that ring in the center and expand it out so that it intersects the center of each of the lines. That's kind of what it looks like.
And how many lines were there?
5.
Okay, 5. Okay.
Okay. So yes, Ket sees that when she turns to look at him. What does he do?
Starts yelling for Orem to stop.
Okay.
But if I stop, it's going to ruin the ritual, Ket.
Right. Well, definitely right off immediately, like Orem doesn't catch what's going on. He's pretty engrossed. But definitely, if Ket is shouting right next to Randus's bedroll, that's definitely going to wake up Randus and probably everybody else.
Oh,
It's like, Orm, we did something wrong. We need to stop now. Get over here.
what's happened?
Orm opens up one of his eyes and looks over. This better be important, Ket. I will stop the ritual,
Coming.
and I will get up and walk over to where Ket is at.
Okay.
What is the problem? I'm trying to resurrect, and you have just stopped a spell that I've already put hours into. Oh, hi, Barrett. Ah!
Oh, no. Barrett looks normal.
Oh, okay. Hi, Barrett.
Hello.
What seems to be the problem here between you two?
I don't know.
Ket?
Barrett look normal to me, or does she still have the symbol?
She looks normal to you.
Oh, why'd you wake me up? I just got to sleep.
Ket, you need to explain yourself.
Barrett had the symbol of the huntress on her forehead. On her forehead, right?
Yep.
The Huntress.
The Obsidian Huntress?
Yeah,
She's the goddess of death, right?
maybe.
A goddess of death, at least.
Her former self was the goddess of death. For all I know, I'm the god of death at this point.
What happened to
I
the
don't think
symbol?
that's true.
I think you would know.
I look at Barrett closely.
Hmm.
I'm going to do an Arcana check to see if I can detect any residual magics or spirit inhabitations onto her body. There we go. 27, really low. I've been pushing all of my focus on trying to raise the dead, and I'm probably not focused enough.
Yeah. Really, the relevant thing here is that you yourself just enacted a very long, time-consuming, and resource-intensive ritual on her. So she kind of, when you try to shift your perceptions to see her aura or whatever, she looks like snow. Like there's just so much residual energy there that it's hard to get a good read on her.
Yeah, I just shake my head. I don't know, Kat. Are you sure you've been getting enough sleep?
I know what I saw.
Barrett, how do you feel?
Very tired.
Do you remember walking over here to Ket and having a conversation with him?
I think so.
Do you remember what you talked about?
No, I don't remember having a full conversation with Ket. Just remember him coming over to talk to me, and then he started freaking out.
Ket, what was said to you? If this was truly a possession by the Huntress, what was said?
Did she say something?
No, I don't think so.
She was bending over Randus when I got over there, right?
She was standing by Randus.
By Randus? She hadn't said anything. She was felt like she was looming over Randus. I went to check on her and I saw the symbol.
I see.
I mean, we've never have you ever resurrected anyone before? Maybe that just is a thing?
Me personally have resurrected anyone? No, I have not. This is my first time, and I was rather proud of my success, but now maybe I am hesitant about bringing the others back if they're going to be possessed by one of the gods. No offense.
None taken. I think it's time for a nature check.
Okay. What are you checking for?
Nature. Any indication of any type of unusual residual things that, granted, this is not the first time I've seen a resurrection, he said, bluffing wildly, but in theory, if there's any indication that maybe there was something going on or something odd, or maybe she's lying.
If you want to tell if she's lying, that's a different skill.
Is that a perception check or is that a streetwise check?
That is an insight check.
Crap! I suck at all those things.
I can make the insight check. I'm good at that.
Did any of my just ridiculously massive passive insight trigger at all?
No, not really.
Then nature it is.
Okay.
Because I know nature, and I know when things are unnatural, and I rolled a 39.
Well, a 39 is pretty good. There is, I guess it's kind of a similar deal. If you're looking for things that are outside of the natural cycle of things, your first ping is like, hey, somebody was just brought back from the dead.
Right.
And it's kind of hard to get past that. Not necessarily because you didn't do a good job of checking, but this is explicitly outside of the natural purview.
Right. I was hoping that would not be such a static.
Would I be able to like make a makeshift EKG meter and see if anything would be wrong spiritually?
Or a
With religion?
A PKEKG, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could someone just make a religion check?
Well, that's what I was getting at.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's just a weird way to make one.
I mean,
That's
it's
the randomest way to make
It's Randus way.
Fair.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a religion check.
All right. 36.
Well, that's still really good.
He rolled a 5, by the way.
Yeah. Finally, justice for Randus.
9 years of bad rolls. He's just got bonuses now.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, are you just looking for like anomalies, or what exactly are you looking for?
Yeah,
here?
like is any anomalies, like any sort of like taint or anything? Like, is there any passengers along for the ride?
I mean, you don't sense any. Yeah, you don't really spot like a clear, like when you like wave your gizmo over her, like, you know, like a little skeleton guy like laughing at you doesn't appear on the screen as you like wave it past her shoulder or anything. But there's definitely something weird there. It's like there is something that is sort of this like divine energy that is kind of suffusing her in some way.
Something does seem weird. I don't know what. I mean, really, this is a bit out of my wheelhouse, but I've definitely been having a crash course of it with recent events, but it's, I don't know. I think there may be something off.
Ket, what kind of connection do you have to the portion of the Raven Queen that you are that's inhabiting you, or you are inhabiting?
That's a good question.
Do you have a connection to the Huntress?
Not that I've been able to discern as of yet.
Have you tried praying to her, or talking to her, or reaching out to her?
More than a few times since we got back.
Well, I mean, I don't see anything here. Randus, you say there's something kind of weird.
Yeah.
But it could just be a residual after effect of her body or her spirit being put back into her body.
Possibly. Don't know if I've really had any data to check against, but
We just keep monitoring her and wait to raise anyone else until we have a better idea of how she's doing.
Well, that's the part that concerns me, because there's a lot of people to raise and, just a little bit of time to get it done. So I was maybe hoping to get back to work.
Yeah, let's kind of maybe view this as like a, I don't know, spiritual disease and kind of quarantine it for a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe give it like 2 days, 1 day. I don't know, see what happens.
Fine, if that's what everyone wants. I look back at the bodies that are all laying all over the place.
Okay. So, interrupting a ritual. Anytime before a ritual is completed, you can stop it and suffer no ill effect. You do not expend any components or pay any costs until that ritual is completed. You can't resume a ritual that was interrupted, however, so you do lose the time you spent on an interrupted ritual.
Okay. All right. So that's good to know.
Yep. So go ahead and refund yourself that what you spent on Raise Dead.
Which was, I just had it open here, 500 gold pieces.
No.
Yeah, it would be much more.
I'm sorry. She is,
Pressing auto.
yeah, 5,000, right? Because she's a Paragon character.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 5,000.
No, I thought we were rezzing auto, who's epic.
Oh, okay. Then that would be 50,000.
Yeah.
It is tallied.
Okay. All right. Well, it's the middle of the night, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we should just resume watches and monitor the situation.
Yeah, I suppose.
Ket, are you good, or do you need to have someone take over?
I doubt I could sleep anytime soon anyways. A little worked up.
Okay. All right.
About how late in the morning is it?
Oh, it's probably a bit after midnight.
I could go for some more sleep.
Okay.
I'm gonna go lay back down.
Here.
I'm going to go find a spot that's maybe a little elevated over the area. I don't know if there's some, we're crashed into some buildings and stuff. Maybe go up and sit on some high rubble that overlooks everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go into my meditative state, but also be able to kind of monitor what's going on down below, and especially to Barrett.
Okay.
How does she seem?
I mean, tired.
Oh.
Drink lots of water and get some rest, Barrett.
Okay. She kind of gets a bedroll out and lays down.
Does she seem to be acting on her own? I mean, or is she like what we might think of as a traditional zombie, just following orders?
Well, definitely she seems to be able to lower her hands from just holding them out in front of her.
Oh, that's
so
good.
That's not a thing.
Phew. Okay, Orm crosses that off of his checklist.
She's answered questions. We've had interactions with her.
Yeah, she seems really tired. But other than that, there really doesn't seem to be anything different about her.
Okay. All right, I will go into my meditative state for the next 4 hours.
Let me get a perception check from Ket and Orem.
Perception check, you say?
Ugh.
Oh boy.
So why are you taking shifts?
Someone's got it.
Someone has to.
31?
2 people with a decent perception.
31 for me.
Are you sure?
Oh, I rolled low. I got a 21.
Okay. Well, towards the end of Ket's shift, Orem, it's like nothing really happens. But towards the end of his shift, Orem spots something weird in one of those like standing stones.
Okay. I will stand up and walk over to it. And these are the ones that are the dwarven people that have not woken up.
That is the theory, yes.
Okay.
There is like some loose dirt under it.
Okay, I'll scrape away some of the dirt.
Yeah, it kind of looks like somebody like dragged it a little bit.
Huh. I go over to another one that's nearby, if there's one nearby.
Sure.
And look at it.
This one does not appear to have been dragged anywhere.
I assume I at least see Orem doing this.
Yeah.
Hey, Ket, come here and take a look at this.
What's going on?
Look, it looks like the stone's either moved or has been drug a little bit.
That's weird.
And it's not, no one's been here to drag it that we have seen.
Right.
So either something else is going on, or maybe, Ulridon said that not everyone woke up, but maybe they are just...
Not quite.
Or they're needing inspiration from their god to wake up. Perhaps what Ulradon is doing with that sword is, you saw how he changed when you challenged him to build that sword. Perhaps that is having some effect here.
That's a possibility.
Yeah. Can I do another Arcana check?
Sure.
29.
No Arcanas to be had.
Nature check, maybe?
Sure.
My nature's okay.
Define okay.
A plus 20,
Oh, 20? Okay.
which is why I got a 21.
Sure, I will also do a nature check.
Okay.
And I roll a 28.
Okay. So Aurum gets down to really, really like inspect the dirt. At which point Ket sees a hand reach out of the shadows to touch Aurum.
I'll grab at the hand.
Okay. So Aurum kind of catches a knee from Ket as he
Ooh, ow, what are you doing?
kind of reaches at nothing.
What's going on, Ket?
I don't know.
Why'd you kick me?
I saw something trying to reach out to grab you, and I went to stop it.
Where was it reaching out from?
Nothing was there. I'll show him whereabouts it was.
Yeah. Now that you get a better look at that section of shadow, it kind of makes sense just because of the way the architecture is. It does kind of look like somebody standing there, but it's just a trick of the masonry.
Ket, are you sure you're okay?
No. I am not certain I'm okay at all at this point.
Do you have something that will check an internal check? Do you have a way of doing some kind of a check of yourself?
Yeah.
You might want to do that. I get up really close to Ket's face and I look into his eyes. I grab one of his eyeballs and I open up his eyelids really wide and I look at one eye. And I go over and open the other one and I look into the other eye. Do I see anything in there?
The soul is just a metaphor, Aurum.
Do I see anything in there?
Anger?
No.
I've got low light perception, so, low light capability, so I can see into that dark soul of his.
You see anger.
Yeah, you do not see anything specific.
I think you need to rest, and I think you need to do that internal check. When is your you know what, I'll just finish out your shift and you go rest.
That seems like a good plan. I'm going to go find a place to meditate.
Okay.
I sigh and I stand back up. And I guess I stand there with my arms on my hands on my hips and oversee all of this, watching out for spooky eyeballs and hands coming out of the darkness.
Aurum, show that to Randus as soon as he wakes up.
Yes, I definitely will.
All right. So, what's Ket doing?
I'm going to start by doing just kind of an internal check on my souls and everything. Just go over myself. See if, talk to Guy, see if there's anything that seems off about me.
See prompt check disk 666.
Pretty much.
Okay. Give me an Arcana check.
I got a total of 30.
Okay. Well, Guy doesn't really seem to spot anything off, and when you meditate, everything is, more or less where it's supposed to be.
All right. I'll spend 20, 30 minutes doing that and then go to sleep.
Okay. Who had the next shift?
I believe Sakar had the second shift.
Okay. You gonna go get Sakar up?
Yeah. Hey, Sakar.
Yes.
It's time for you to wake up.
I am awake.
Great. Do you sleep, or do you just, like, meditate like I do?
I sleep.
Okay. Hey, Ket's acting really weird.
We're all acting really weird.
Well, no, but while he was asleep, while you were asleep, so a couple of things. First, that stone over there, the what do we call these things?
The standing stone.
The standing stones. That standing stone looks like it moved, or it looks like it's been drug or moved or something. So we're going to have to look into that a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But then, as I was examining it, Ket kicked me in the ribs and said that there was a hand reaching out of the darkness to grab me. And I think he's hallucinating. So we're going to have to keep an eye on him.
I'm not entirely certain that hallucination is the first assumption I would come to.
Well, there's something going on. He's the only one seeing it.
Well, that may have as much to do with his nature as anything else.
Well, it could be, but I think we need to watch him.
I think we need to watch everything, to be honest. Something strange is going on, and if something is unusual with Barrett and her return, then there could be other examples of the same sort of thing happening. I think I need to check out the stone.
Yeah, come here. Take a look at this.
I'm going to check the stone.
Okay.
I'm going to do a cool check. What check would be a good check if you were looking at a stone?
Well, nature.
Nature? Perception?
Yeah. Yep, either nature or perception. Just let me know which one.
I'm going to go with perception. It's a little better.
Okay.
24!
Well, now you don't know. Like, clearly somebody, like, it's not like you had, like, clocked where each stone was, you know? So, definitely, since Orm's been down there, it's hard to tell whether the stone actually moved or if maybe something underneath, like, dug its way out, right? It's like if there was, like a snake or some kind of, like, little burrowing creature underneath it, and they had, like, made a little burrow out of it, that would look very similar to a drag mark. And now that it's been looked at and messed with, it's pretty hard to tell.
What was my general over and under on the expectation of moving these stones vis-a-vis, I don't know,
you could
blasphemy, death?
You could do it, but it would hurt your back.
Yeah, they seem very heavy. As far as would it be respectful to move these stones, you guys do not know what these are. You've certainly floated some theories.
We've made
but
some
you guys actually do not for sure know what these are. There's definitely some good hypotheses floating around, but that doesn't mean anything.
Cost-benefit analysis, looking into the thing, carry the 1, divide by 3. I'm going to pick up the stone.
Okay. Give me an athletics check.
Are you going to knock it over, or are you going to try to lift it up?
I'm going to lift it.
Because you probably could just knock it over and see the underside of it a lot easier.
That I think would definitely be disrespectful. I'm going to lift it.
Okay.
Orm just shakes his head.
37.
Okay. You can get it, a good maybe 6 inches off the ground with by basically squatting down, hugging it, and like standing up.
Mm-hmm. Lifting with a twisting, jerking motion and doing all the work with my back.
Yep.
Okay.
The strongest part of it.
As you're supposed to.
Does there seem to be any evidence of something burrowing and or underneath it?
Nope.
How many D6 goblins are coming out to eat us again?
None.
Okay.
It also doesn't, I mean, you could have probably figured that out, but there's no indication that the stone was hammered in here or that there's any sort of support below it. It was just kind of
there.
All right,
I'm going to try to replace it as closely as possible to its original position.
Yeah, you get it pretty close.
On the off chance that our assumptions are right, be haunted by a stone for the rest of my life. Ooh, why did you lift me, blah?
Oh, so it doesn't look like it's like it was embedded in the dirt or anything. I mean, it's just kind of resting on top.
Right. I mean, it's heavy, so when he lifts it, there's a clear indentation there. But yeah, it's not like, not like somebody, like when he pulls it up, there isn't another foot of stone underneath it
Right.
So
it wasn't like
dirt.
extruded from the dirt or slammed down into it.
It's not
dropped.
like this is more of a maybe Stonehenge situation than a Moai situation.
Okay, I got that.
But it doesn't.
reference.
But it doesn't look like a gravestone situation.
No, I mean potentially it could be because again, if you think of like traditional gravestones, no, those are, dug into the ground
Sure.
a fair bit. So that
Mhm.
is not the case. It would also be strange for them to be randomly spaced gravestones throughout the city in
Right.
what appear to be like very public places.
Not to John Ara of the planet Trom, he said. Completely
What?
out of character, and
Orm just looks at Zakar. What?
I didn't say that, Stephen.
Oh,
Sorry.
Who's Steven?
who are you talking? Everyone's going crazy.
All right.
All right. Back in the game. All right. I'm serious too.
That's the situation.
It is. It seems unusual. If Hazard thinks he saw an otherworldly claw, just based on my own inherent biases, my first thought process is that he saw a claw that we could not, rather than assuming that there's something wrong with him. We're in an extraordinary situation, and while I'll deny it if you repeat it to him, I do respect his abilities and perception. But we really don't have any proof or the lack thereof either way, and the Barrett situation is so unusual that I couldn't even feel anything other than the universe telling me that coming back from the dead is definitely not natural. So, I believe we should work out the rest of our shift and be on the lookout for any ephemeral creatures grabbing us from beyond.
Okay, let's do that.
All right. Let me get a perception check from both of you guys.
Perception checks are coming. Crud.
We are rolling great tonight, guys.
Yeah.
17.
24.
All right. The rest of your shift, as far as you know, goes on uneventfully.
It's the as far as me know that terrifies me,
As it should.
as best we
I
can
feel
tell.
like he uses that just to scare us, and if something is actually happening, he's just not going to tell us at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's true.
Which
All right.
Unrelated question. What's your armor class, Orm?
Yeah.
My armor class,
How many fingers did you say you had?
37.
Remember, that was a past tense question. You have 37 fingers?
I do. Oh.
You
So
don't
who
wanna
had the
know
last
where some
shift?
of them are.
Little Sparkle, I believe.
That is correct.
All right. I'll go wake up Little Sparkle. Little Sparkle,
Mm,
it's time for your shift.
okay.
As soon as you
Anything
wake,
happen?
yes,
What?
yes, some weird stuff.
what?
So,
What should?
I thought I saw one of the stones move. Come here.
Okay.
I walk her over to the stone. I show her. Of course, now I'm trying to show her where the spot where it looked like the stone had been drugged, but then Sakar picked it up and put it back down, and so everything's kind of scattered around. But while I was examining it, Ket thought he saw a hand reaching out of the darkness to grab me, but I didn't see anything, and it looked like maybe he was hallucinating.
Well, we did raise someone from the dead today, so maybe everyone's a little bit freaked out.
Sure, yes, I can see that.
All right. Well, look out for moving rocks or shadow people.
Or just, also keep your eye on Barrett, too.
Yeah, sure. All of the above.
Yes.
All right. Let me get a perception check from both of you.
Sounds good.
We'll see if Orem gets a good one yet.
No.
Nope.
14.
All right, now the character with the good perception.
Is Little Sparkle's perception good?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's
Not
pretty
terrible.
good.
27.
Yeah. The rest of your shift goes on uneventfully, and it is a new day on the 1,000-hectare armory.
I will make some breakfast for everyone.
Thank you.
It's 5-year-old
If you say elven granola,
elven granola.
I will get up out of this chair.
I rescind my thank you.
Apparently, you're supposed to cook it.
He fries it up.
You guys
That's still
have
bad.
you guys definitely have had a steady stream of supplies for as long as you've been in Rutile Island. So
Then Orm sets down the elven granola, puts some bananas and apples next to them. Some fruits, I
Yeah.
should say.
Since
Where you
your
get
since your
bananas
trips
again?
are so short, you are able to carry some more fresh stuff with you, but there's still a fair amount of like jerky and like tack.
There you go.
Kind of
Pull that
stuff.
out of my bag and set it next to you.
Scorpion jerky.
Eat.
Yeah.
And then, there's of course the bread that Ket made.
Mm-hmm.
That cat bread.
The unleavened ket bread.
Yeah, he had time to let it rise.
Well, but the problem is he doesn't have the ingredients
He doesn't have yeast.
for it to rise.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Ket, are you feeling any better?
I'm not feeling any worse.
Barrett, how are you feeling?
I feel fine.
Orm gives her a deep look. Are you sure? Are you still tired? Are you
Yes.
still tired? Okay. Well, I guess eat some food, drink some water. Don't overexert yourself today.
Okay.
Did anyone but Ket actually see Barrett's transformation?
No.
Oh.
No, that would make it so,
He sounded credible.
completely crazy.
Everybody freaked out when I described it, but no one in character actually saw it besides Cat.
And
Besides
the
Ket.
audience.
Sounds
And
like
by the-
everybody freaked
And
out.
yes,
for
and the
same
audience.
reason that was incorrect.
And at the same point that Orem arrived, all of a sudden there was nothing there.
Right.
Mm.
We'll attribute it at the very least to Ket momentarily taking his eyes off of her, and then when he looked back, it was gone.
It's like an episode of Mr. Ed. Nobody ever sees it, but it happens, man.
Yes, she put away her top hat and cane and stopped dancing just in time.
Telling me you wouldn't do that to me?
I honestly can't say that. So yeah, no,
I can't.
Ket, how did your evaluation go or your self-check go?
As far as we can tell, nothing's out of place.
Have you seen anything else unusual?
Not since the hand. But I did go to sleep almost immediately after.
How long had Ket been awake before that?
a good long while. You guys, I mean, all quote unquote all day. Like you guys had gotten some rest before you went into the dome. And then by the time you came back out and got back to the ship, it was nighttime. So, he'd probably been up for, I don't know, 12, 13 hours maybe. So, I mean, nothing really unreasonable for an adventurer.
Nothing that would naturally make Ket.
Yeah, nothing that would get him any more exhausted than A, the rest of you, or B, Ket as far as his normal stuff. In fact, if there's one person that does pretty well on a forced march, this Ket.
Yeah.
Because,
Right.
half elves are tough.
Yeah. He's got that one pointy ear, which keeps him kind of leaning to the left, and it keeps his legs from getting tired out of sync.
Yeah, it makes him corner faster too.
Mm-hmm. You just hook onto things and just whoosh.
Yep, just whip around. Yep.
Like the Fast and the Furious.
Hey, Randus,
Yeah.
as soon as you're done eating, come check a look at this stone.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of those stones.
Yeah, but like last night, it looked like it was like it moved or it was drug around a little bit. See how all the dirt's... Well, you can't because Sakar lifted it up and
Okay.
disturbed the evidence. And
have you seen any of them?
I just thought I saw it move, and I investigated, and it looked like it had been drug around. I didn't detect any naturally things, and I didn't detect any magic-y things, but maybe it wouldn't hurt to have a second opinion. I had this theory with Ket that maybe because of Ulradon doing his sword making, and he seems to be inspired and excited, that maybe that is maybe causing, if these are truly the unwoke, still sleeping people of the island, that maybe they were starting to come back around. I don't know.
Sounds reasonable. I don't know. Does any of the rest seem like they might have moved?
No, I looked at a couple of the others, and it didn't look like they've been moved at all.
Well,
unless I missed something and we go back over. Let's look at another stone really quick, Rodrigo.
Okay.
Any of the other stones look like they've been disturbed?
No, but one of the stones looks maybe a little less weathered than the others.
Oh, look.
It's not like under an overhang or anything?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, maybe just that.
Oh, sure. Now that you put it that way, of course.
I don't know.
Ket's not the only one losing it.
Check it for messages.
Something else to keep an eye out for. If they also wake up, I don't see how that'd be anything bad.
No, I mean, that would actually be good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But, yeah. I mean, I guess we just, need to let them work, and hopefully that'll lift the spirits around
If
here.
that's what's really going on. Or maybe we're all going crazy.
I suppose. How many more days?
A while.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Ket. Are you able to talk with the... I know I asked this last night, but are you able to talk with the portion of the Raven Queen that's in you, or have you reached out to the Obsidian Huntress?
I've reached out to the Obsidian Huntress a couple of times.
But you haven't tried, recently, since this incident happened?
I can.
I mean, maybe there's a doorway or something that's opened. I mean, maybe by bringing Barrett back, there's now a tighter connection between here and the undead world, which you obviously would have the better connection to.
I resent that.
Barrett holds her hand up a little bit. I will point out that she looks up at the sky and then kind of points out towards the center of the city. So I will point out that the quote, and she does little air quotes with her other hand, undead world is more or less in that direction, in the same plane.
Oh, really?
Huh.
Well,
Yeah,
that's where Endgate would be.
What's Endgate?
It was the Raven Queen's city, presumably now the Obsidian Huntresses as well.
And it exists simultaneously in the Astral Sea and the Shadowfell.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're just weird effects from resurrecting people in the Astral Sea, or resurrecting people when the treaty is not really in place.
Or maybe something about the nature of death has changed.
Oh.
That seems likely.
Oh, no.
Well, like I said, I think we kind of just have to wait, see if there's anything else untoward that happens, and then we'll know if it's safe to resurrect more people.
How long until we're expecting help again?
About 3.5 more weeks.
So it's not as though we lack the time.
Well, we do, in the sense that those corpses are going to start rotting.
Yeah. We only have 30 days before I can't perform this ritual. So time is kind of the essence. And it's going to take time to get everyone resurrected, even if I get Barrett's help to do it.
What does everyone else... should we start resurrecting others?
Or do we need to wait a couple of days? I mean, we can wait a couple of days, but we can't wait
too long.
We can't wait 3.5 weeks.
No, I'm not saying that we should wait that long. I mean, I don't know. Let's wait like another night or something like that. And we can maybe see if there's some place cold we could put the bodies until then.
Do any of you three know the ritual that keeps bodies preserved?
There's that.
I do.
Do we want to use that just to make sure we've got plenty of time for everyone?
I can. I just hadn't suggested it because I didn't know if you wanted me interacting with the other corpses.
If there is something going on that she is unaware of, is that any more or less safe than just continuing immediately?
I don't know. I'm super out of my league here.
I'm only out of my league up to the point of pragmatism, which is to say that, and please, Barrett, I mean no offense, and I certainly don't wish for that to happen, but should it become necessary to kill anyone resurrected again, we are certainly up to the task. I think our biggest issue is whether or not we are, well, I believe that we clearly are somehow being monitored, and whether this process would make that even easier for whomever might be doing it.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, I think maybe we could take these bodies into a basement of one of these houses. It should be cooler.
Maybe.
And then if you want to perform a spell, you could do that there.
It's worth scouting at the very least.
I'll go off, look for a root cellar.
Okay. It's not hard to find an underground section of a house, but it's not really a cellar. All of these houses kind of just continue underground.
Sure. But it's cooler down here.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, I go back and tell everybody. I found one. Or one that's, take your pick.
They're all cellar.
Well, is there anyone that'd be any more beneficial to use as a base of operations in the meantime?
Oh, well, okay. Orm goes off looking for the biggest house in the nearby area.
We're going to be here a while.
We should ask him these questions before he leaves.
I suppose. I mean, it keeps him occupied.
As Orm is going off to find something else, you guys want to discuss what you want in a base of operations?
We
could probably.
Maybe someplace centralized that's got space for us, and maybe like a secondary building as opposed to something right underneath us to keep the bodies from smelling too bad or being heated by our presence upstairs.
Fair. Should we pick something maybe equidistant from the wreck here, the coast, and Ulradon?
Yeah, that's ideal. That way we can check on both.
All right, well, let's kind of triangulate a building, I suppose.
Okay. Well, you guys can find something. Definitely. It's pretty swanky estate. It's 2 stories tall, kind of a blocky place, but clearly has lots of room. And then when you get inside, you see that it actually has a fair amount of room below it as well, maybe 3 more stories, and it's got lots of room. You should be able to basically stash 11 bodies in one of these rooms and still not have it, not have to ever be too close to them.
All right.
And still use the rest of the building. And then if you're going to let Barrett use gentle repose on them, that's not going to be an issue at all.
Okay.
Orm comes back to camp and doesn't find anybody anywhere. Where'd everybody go?
We finally decided to cut our loose ends.
Oh, that's just mean.
Ouch.
Orm finds a place back to the Feywild and lives out the rest of existence there.
Join us next week.
Psst, I told you. You missed your chance.
Yes, I know.
No, that's why I said, do you guys want to discuss this before Orem goes off?
Yes.
But
Orem is definitely aware of where the camp is. Or the new camp.
How much can unseen servants lift?
I believe that is thoroughly said in their description. Let me look.
100 pounds. Yeah, so they're not going to be able to help move the bodies.
Maybe individually.
That's true.
Need that
you
much
don't have a floating disc, do you? Because that's basically what.
Used to have a floating disc. Let me see if I still have it. No, I do not. Is one of those Tensor's floating discs disappeared from my list during upgrades and whatnot.
During some reformatting.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another thing in between sessions. Like, you guys might want to look at like rituals from all the levels leading up to now.
Yeah,
because it's like little things like it's like it never seems like you're gonna need gentle repose until you do, or Tensor's floating disc or whatever.
Yeah, but we're limited to the number of rituals we can have. So
no, you're not.
Oh, really? Because Hero Lab
it's like having a spell book.
Yeah.
Well, if Hero Lab doesn't let you, then that's fine.
Yeah, it says 11 of 11.
You as a wizard get free rituals that you have to spend 0 money for. So maybe that's what it's talking about. Like you should have like 5 rituals by now or more.
Oh, I have 11
that come from being a wizard.
Oh, yeah.
That's only
but
level 1
there's
spell.
no I don't know. Look in there. Maybe you have to buy like a second ritual book, because in the mechanically ritual books can only hold so many rituals and blah blah. So you might have to spend like a whole 5 more gold to buy another ritual book.
That's what I need to do.
But I don't care about that. So like Orem has a handy haversack, so he can have like 5 or 6 ritual books with him at all times. That's really not a big deal.
And should it come down to it, I mean, moving bodies is certainly something that Sakar can just do.
Yeah. Yeah, if everybody pitches in, you guys can do it fairly fast.
Yeah.
And then you have your little hacienda.
Yay.
So do we wish her to do the ritual?
Don't think it'd hurt.
Maybe wait, like I said, wait just 24 hours, see if she's okay, if the bodies are okay. It won't prevent us from resurrecting them in a day. And that way we can just be a little bit more cautious. And then if she's okay after that, we can probably just start rezzing them, and then, gentle repose the rest of them so that they don't rot while they wait their turns.
Okay.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
It's as plausible as any of our plans.
I mean, this one seems more plausible, to be fair.
Yeah, that came out a lot harsher than I meant that to sound. I keep forgetting in retrospect that some of our plans come apart pretty quickly. Okay.
All right, so what's the plan?
We are not going to have her do the thing for another day or so.
Okay.
And we are probably...
Oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I was just talking out loud. How much time has actually passed in the scouting out of haciendas and such?
Not very much. You guys have probably, in between finding a new place and moving all the bodies, you guys have probably spent, about 10 hours. Since you actually had to move kind of deep into the island to have a place that's equidistant from the wreck, the coast, and the dome.
Start working on getting the skiff thing back together.
I think I'm going to scout and see if there are any resources, or have I already done that? I believe I may already have.
We kind of both attempted that.
Yeah, didn't find anything, as I recall. Breaks
Hello.
between shows.
Look again for, I don't know, weird rocks that might be moving, or check on that one weird rock I saw the other day, just to see if it's done anything else weird.
All right. Let's go check on that weird rock you saw the other day.
What does everybody else do?
I'm gonna keep an eye on Barrett.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask at least one of the other two to help me, just because I'm the one who's seen all the weird things.
Man, I was so hoping that everybody else was going to leave Cat alone with Barrett.
That would be fantastic.
Even if I didn't have anything planned, that's just such classic, that's just such classic PC behavior.
Well, since Randus is working on the buoy,
boat, yeah.
then I'll stick around and keep an eye on both Ket and Barrett. One eye on each of them.
I was just waiting for everybody to leave Cat alone.
I knew that was coming if I didn't say anything.
Your mother builds clocks in hell, Cat.
All right. So, Little Sparkle and Sakar go check on that rock. And when they get there, they see that the rock is there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it appears to be a lot less weathered than all the other ones, to the point where there are visible runes on it. But nothing else about it really seems to be different.
Do you know what the runes mean?
Maybe. Do I know what the runes mean?
Do you have Dwarven or Dwarvish as one of your languages? I think it's Dwarven in D&D in this edition, at least.
I don't. I'm an Elvish impersonator. I don't speak Dwarvish.
Also, I'll throw this out there. Does anybody have in their ritual lists comprehend language?
I do, but I have to have heard the language being spoke first.
I do.
Or?
In order to do comprehend language, in order to have it work.
We have
You've
a
heard
dwarf
Dwarven
with us.
spoken.
But has she
angry
spoken?
robots were speaking Dwarven.
Were they?
Yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Also, I'm pretty sure it just works on written languages.
It
Yeah, you
does.
Touch script,
Yeah.
which is what we're needing anyways.
Yeah, choose a language you have heard or a piece of writing you have seen within the past 24 hours. So
Okay.
all of these buildings are scrolled in Dwarven, so you can cast it at any time, and then you'd be able to read all this stuff.
We need to go and
I
make
will.
scat is Cat is alone, so let's go get Orm.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Yay!
hurry up so that I can have another spooky scene with Cat.
Ooh. I cannot read this now. I had hoped it was similar to things I had seen, but
Actually, I forgot. I took rubbings last time. I'll just bring them back and see if one of the, I don't know.
Nerds can read him.
Yes.
Okay, so in the meantime, Randus has a pretty good has the buoy pretty much back to working order, and in fact, since it's kind of a hovercraft, can doesn't have to keep it too close to the coast, so can actually move it to the base.
Ooh.
dun, 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 dun. Randus and his
I
amazing
will point out
hovercraft.
that it doesn't handle terribly well in the astral sea, and it handles even worse on land.
Well, that was going to be my next question: is what can I do to maybe make the steering on this better as my next project?
Well, you could definitely. So it depends on what exactly you want. If you want to keep this more or less as it is, but just make improvements, you certainly can. You can make the steering more responsive. You can make it, probably the most thorough change you can make is maybe try to separate its propulsion system from the rest of it, so that it kind of turns on its own, and that way when you make a turn, it doesn't turn the whole thing.
Nice. Yes.
Or if you wanted to basically take this thing and, hammer it to the point where it's essentially something else that handles differently and does something else, you could also do that, and that in and of itself would be a more involved project.
I think I want to mainly keep the functionality of it operating on the Astral Sea and being a smaller transport. So I think I'll just make the minor alterations. Try to keep it the additional functionality of being able to work on land, but be focused more on its performance on the sea.
Okay. All right. So little spark. Randus goes off and after a while brings it back, and during this time, like Ket and Orem and Barrett are just like sitting there like staring at each other.
I mean, just go about your whatever activities you need to do. I'll be looking through my ritual books. Oh, look, comprehend language. This probably would have been very helpful.
I hate you sometimes.
What? Why?
No reason.
Yeah. I go back to my books.
Ket staring at Barrett intently while Orem stares right at the back of his head.
No, I'm going through my books.
Like a 4th grade classroom. Just beautiful.
It's like that scene in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, except there are no guns involved.
Yet. Give Randus time.
I've got a sword.
So eventually Randus comes by with the...
Randos!
I'm sorry. I'll shut up now.
Eventually he comes back with the buoy.
Hey, Randus, good job.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty good.
Yeah, I go out to inspect the work with Randus, leaving Ket alone.
You monster.
It's okay. Little Sparkle and Sakar show up.
Oh, okay. Hey, guys, come out and look at this great work Randus has done.
Sure.
Okay.
I brought back some rubbings in Dwarven that we found on a runestone. Can anyone read them?
You know what? Yes, I can.
You speak Dwarven?
I do not, but I remember I've got a spell that will let me translate all this stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't remember he was going through his rituals while you guys were away.
Well,
going through your ritual book is a good thing to do when you got some time, certainly.
Yes. So
I will point out that now that I'm not dead anymore, I can also translate Dwarven for you.
Oh, right. Yes. That would probably be even easier than casting a spell.
Well, cheaper
you don't
anyway.
want to make assumptions.
Oh, well, that's nice of you, but yes. No, I that's my first language.
Well, what does he say?
She looks at him. It looks like a name. Probably something like maybe E.G.
Like a monument, perhaps? Or
maybe.
Tombstone?
Could be.
Have we asked her in character if she knows about the standing stones?
I don't think we have.
Do you know anything about these standing stones?
No, I don't really know what they are. I mean, they are unusual. Certainly no culture that I know of has anything like this specifically. They're a little unnerving as they're kind of dwarf-sized.
Yes, Master Rivendorn had theorized that they might actually be Ulradon's subjects somehow transmogrified.
And they're just not woken up yet. Ulradon did say that because of his shame that his people did not wake up, so, we gave him a task, and as I had said, one of those stones seemed to move, and maybe that is in direct relation to Ulradon getting back to work and doing things that Ulradons do.
Right. Well, there are certainly different types of legends in Dwarven lore, and some of them talk about dwarves having been carved out of stone. most of us see those as folk tales, but even if they are, we're dealing with ancient and powerful beings. If Alredan believes that his people were carved out of stone, even if they weren't originally, maybe that has become a part of who they are.
Huh.
Does that mean we need to convince Olrodon to recarve them?
Maybe. I don't know. Also, Otto and I didn't turn into stone when we came here, so it's not like... go ahead.
I was just going to ask if you want to meet Ulridon now that you're alive again.
That would be nice. That is something I was looking forward to. But now I'm worried. What if there's something wrong with me?
Well, maybe, again, why don't we just wait till tomorrow, see how you're doing, and if you don't, I don't know, get weird, we'll go visit Ulridon. It'd probably be good to see how he's doing with his project.
Also, if there is something wrong with you, wouldn't the creator of your race be the first person to notice?
Ulridon did not create our race. He was first among our gods, but he is not our originator.
No.
Oh. Who created the dwarves?
We don't know. There's lots of different legends. I would say it would be strange for there to be dwarven gods that look like dwarves, and have one of them create dwarves, right? It's kind of a thing where how could there be the gods of a particular race if the race wasn't around when the gods were around?
The dragon egg paradox, which came first.
Right. But that's the sort of thing that theologians just sit around and talk about. We don't know. There's no definitive legend of where dwarves come from.
Fair. I apologize for the assumption.
Oh, no. It's fine. Most of our writings only really go back to a few thousand years to the time or to right about the time when we expect that time really fully solidified. So we're more or less in the same boat as elves and Eladrin as far as our history.
But my point still stands, even if he's just you said the greatest or the first among your gods?
He was the first, sort of the pantheon's patriarch, if you will.
So, I mean, if anyone's going to know if something's wrong with you, wouldn't it be him?
That's a big assumption.
He's been out of touch for a while.
In any case, yes, I think it'll be fine. We can go and see him whenever you all think is appropriate.
Then maybe we should go tomorrow morning.
Yeah, if nothing else, it will kill time.
Exactly. And speaking of killing time, I think that is where we're going to wrap it up this week on Critical Hit. Thank you, everyone, for downloading and checking us out. Don't forget, you can support this show by going to patreon.com/majorspoilers, or you can go to Apple Podcasts and leave us some 5-star reviews. That certainly does help. And, of course, spreading the word to all your friends and all the gamers that you know. The more of us that are out there, the more we grow, and the more awesome content we can produce for you. So until next time, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2018 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.